Awesome. Hey, welcome back to another edition of the Brett Figueroa Show. We're so excited about being with you here today for another episode to move, to motivate, to inspire those around the world that are maybe going through a challenging times, a difficult times, a frustrating time, whatever that person might be dealing with. And so we brought this show to you live here today. And we're excited about today's episode because it's a little bit off my traditional normal beaten path. And where today I'm going to be doing an interview with somebody very, very special out of California that her and her husband, Daniel, Jennifer Chenko, and her husband, Daniel, run a foundation for terminally ill children. And they create what are called sweet dream bedrooms. And those are for terminally ill children, as I mentioned, that are, kind of on that last place. And what this foundation does is really create an experience for that terminally ill child or children that are going through obviously a rough time, maybe cancer or some type of something where, it's bleak in terms of what their outcome is going to be. So I'm excited about bringing on our guest here today, Jennifer Chenko out of beautiful Folsom, California. Welcome, Jennifer.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm
awesome.
Excited to be on the show.
Well, it's great to have you on here today. And as you and I were talking here before we came on, I'm really excited. Again, it's a little bit off my traditional normal beaten path. And the reason I chose to really bring this to the light for some of our viewers is that what you're doing out there is to really make a difference and to make an impact for terminally ill children. And with terminally ill children, there's obviously a lot of different things and variables that go with that, in terms of being able to afford the health care, in terms of being able to afford, the different things that child may need. So again, it's great to have you with us here today. And give us just kind of a little bit of a background in terms of, well, maybe not a background, but just give us a little bit about what it is that you and your husband, Daniel, what is it that you do with your foundation, Sweet Dreams Foundation? It's very exciting.
Yeah. Well, Sweet Dreams Foundation, we give dream bedrooms to children who are battling life-threatening illnesses. So the nice thing is I know that you said terminally ill. A lot of our children are terminally ill, but there are some that aren't terminally ill.
Some are not. Okay, got it.
Some are not. So that our hope that with every single child's dream bedroom, and that we have seen, which has been incredible, is that the dream bedroom ends up bringing a lot of joy. And when the spirit is filled with joy, the physical body will follow. So we've seen a lot of children overcome their cancers and different various things through Sweet Dreams, which has been fabulous. So that's pretty much the brief overview. And then this year here, we've been really excited because we've received applicants from all over the U.S., some outside of the USA, and children under the age of 2. So we just started a new program serving babies that we can gift them. It's called a Roos Wrap anywhere in the world. Just give them gifts and shower them with love. So that they know that they're not alone.
That's amazing. Like that, to me, when I hear something like that, it's so heart-centered. It's so heart-centered. You have a nonprofit organization. It seems that for so many, they get into business. Let me make money. Let me buy a new house and get a new car and, all the excess. And you're doing something that's so from your heart. It's so like we're doing this for children, sick children that really could use just an amazing experience. And I'm going to look forward to hearing maybe about one or two of your rooms in terms of what that looks like or feels like. But how do you, it seems that for most, whether they get involved in a business or start up a foundation or whatever that might look like, it seems that there might be some type of a backstory to that in terms of what drove them to a certain place in their life where, hey, this is what our life is going to be about. And here's what our purpose is going to be about. Tell us, if you will, maybe what was that experience? Or
why did I start it? What inspired it?
Right.
Well, when I was 11, I watched my grandfather pass away of a lung cancer called mesothelioma, which is the lung cancer caused by asbestos. And yes. So he was taken very, very quickly. When we found out he only had a couple months to live in, my mother and I moved in with him. And during those times of moving in with him,
were you close? Were you close? Interject. Were you close with your grandfather? You were close.
I was close with my grandfather. He literally lived right down the street from us, and he spoiled us grandkids. Like
We all need a grandfather like that.
yeah, right. It was really hard to watch him go through that. And not to mention my mom was a single mom. And so I didn't even at that point in my life, I hadn't even met my grandfather on my dad's side. So he was really the only grandfather that I had. And not to mention absent father. So my grandfather played a
An
big
absent
role.
father, an absent father.
Yeah, my dad wasn't in my life at that time, like really in my life. And so my grandpa did play a really big role in my life. And maybe that's a huge reason that I've never connected the dots until literally just now of why, he touched my heart so much during those times. But it was hard to watch him go through the different treatments. He actually had to stop treatments because it was just making him terribly sick and he couldn't move from the bed to go to the bathroom by
Wow.
himself. So as a little girl, I would just listen to him and listen to all of the stories that he would share with me. I was like his little angel. He told me everything. I was like, he told me everything wrong he's done into his life. And like, don't make these mistakes,
That's
Jen.
awesome.
Listen to my advice. And
Right.
that maybe that piece of fatherly advice before he left. And what I remember as a little girl is he would put my hands onto his tumor, actually onto his lungs, and I would massage and I would pray into his lungs, and he'd let me feel the tumor and where it hurt into his body. So I would give him tons of massages, and during that time, I'd look around his room and I'd be like, everything is just so bare. I would not want to pass away there. And the night before he died, he gave me a kiss and on the forehead. I believe it was the forehead. And he said, "God's taking me home." And that night he died. So he told me, and I was the only one that he told that to. I woke up the next day to my mom and my aunt waking me up, telling me that grandpa had died. And I would say that really sparked something right away for me, just to want to serve others and knowing that life is so short. Like you were mentioning earlier, you said, most people go into business for money. Don't get me wrong. I would love to make a lot of money and,
Right.
take my kids on super amazing fun adventures and stuff like that. But when I slow down every single day and go, literally today, if we can live for today in this moment, it's so important to make that time to serve others.
Mm. Wow, what a story! That's what would you say? What would you say? Because I don't know if too many people have that experience of uh, being with their grandfather, as they pass
Mhm.
away. I know I wasn't able to. They were on a different part of the world, and it happened when it happened. But what was a couple things? One, what did that teach you? Like, what was maybe your takeaway of a opportunity to learn? What did you take away from that? What did you learn from that? Of grandpa passing away,
Yeah,
you're 11 years
I
old,
was
you're
gonna say
helping
is like,
him. Like, what did you get away? What did you walk away from that after grandpa had finally passed?
yeah.
What did you walk away with from that?
Well, number one, how important it is to care for those who are in need.
Mm,
Um, I was the one that was with him pretty much all day, every day. It was summer break. So I spent every moment with him versus even with my friends. And that's a lot for an 11-year-old to be like, no, I want to be with the grandpa. My mom took care of his like basic needs, making sure like doctors, everything was taken care of for that point. And then I was his best friend. So it was really important. Um, to walk away going, it's so during somebody's last days, especially during their last days,
mhm.
letting them know that they are loved and he didn't die, alone. He died knowing that he was loved. And the other part that I took away is how God speaks to people and the
Mm,
fact that he knew the night before that he died. He said, "God is taking me home tonight," and he knew. So it just awakened my soul to going, no, God can speak still directly to us if we just take the time to listen.
right. Just listen. It's like, I was just talking about that with somebody the other day. It's like, Brett, they were like, stop. And I was just like, listen, just listen. Let it soak in. Let it just resonate. So you're 11 years old. You're helping grandfather pass, or you're helping your grandfather as he's sick with this tumor. He passes away. You're 11 years old. When did you come to the realization uh, in your life? When did you come to the realization that the Sweet Dreams Foundation was something that was a calling on your heart, and that
Yeah.
you would bring that to fruition into the world. When did that come about?
So right after my grandpa passed away, I had a friend, a schoolmate, also pass away during that same time. So here I am, sixth grade. I watched this little girl. She had a brain tumor, go from like this beautiful, vibrant, athletic girl to not being able to do anything, not being able to play basketball with us, but come to our basketball games in her wheelchair and her little cap. And so I took both of those different experiences. I knew I wanted to do something. I was originally a social work major. And at that time, there weren't any jobs available for social work majors, not even volunteer opportunities. So I applied at Sac State for that. And they said, if I were you, I would change your major. So I listened to the counselor on that, and I decided to go to school for interior design, which was making, there was a lot of money to be made at that time.
Oh yeah,
23-year-olds were making six-figure incomes. And I was like, heck yes, I can do that. And then I can volunteer my time and just go, visit people in the hospital. And I noticed right away during all my interior design, my first jobs during school, it just kept pushing on my heart. I kept doodling kids' rooms, and my professor looked at me and she goes, "You're never going to make any money at that. I wouldn't even think about going down that road. Like,
right.
just, you'll be a great designer. Just trust me." And I got into some great jobs. I was working at a very high-end interior design firm. I was making great money. I was great at sales. And then I was like, this is not fulfilling. I cannot sell somebody, a table, a nook table, not even a dining room table, and 4 chairs for $15,000. That is not my personality. I need to be serving these families, even if it means Jen doesn't make a paycheck. So that's where it's good to trust that God will provide. But yeah, it just kept pushing on my heart. And by the time I was 21, I said, I'm gonna make this happen. It's gotta happen. It's been on my heart for 10 years to serve.
For 10 years.
10 years.
10 years,
10
right.
years. That was a long time to have like just that impression day after day. And I've always wanted I've always wanted to serve God with my life. And it's just, this is the way I'm doing it.
Well, you brought up a great word, and the word that I resonated with was the word fulfilling. And I was talking with somebody just not too long ago today, but we're talking about how so many people, live a life of unfulfillment, and they're just not fulfilled. They're just, in the grind, in the hustle, out there making things happen, but there's no fulfillment to that.
Yes.
And I know that for my own personal self, that was very similar in terms of not being fulfilled within the industry in which I was in. And I had an uncle that was brutally murdered out of just thin air. One night he was here, next night he's out. And I just remember I said, when I no longer enjoy what it is that I do is when I no longer do what it is that I do. And because I must be fulfilled, I must feel like I'm making a difference, making an impact, making a contribution, helping somebody that's out there going through some form of a challenge, a difficult time. And it sounds like you've really found your way in what it is that you're doing right now. So I just want to, first of all, acknowledge you for that, because it seems as many times, people just go on for the rest of their life being unfulfilled in whether it be their marriage, their health, their happiness, whatever. So great job on that. Tell us, so thanks for sharing that story. It's a sad story, obviously, when somebody in the family passes, and if we could take something out of that, then that just makes it all better and juicier. So, but tell us a little bit about, if we can just kind of go into the Sweet Dream Foundation. Tell us a little bit about the foundation, and tell us a little bit about the rooms. Like the rooms sound like super cool, and I saw some of the different rooms that you had on your website. But tell us what is that, and how. Tell us let's just talk a little bit about that first.
About the rooms. Yeah. The rooms are absolutely amazing. Well, it's the children in the rooms that are absolutely amazing. These little warriors who have so much courage and so much strength and joy. Like Ella, as you're looking at, beautiful Ella. She is one of the ones who ended up passing away. And She was out in Texas. We actually traveled out there. Most of the time is what we do is we get to know the kids. So the most important thing that we can do is get to know their personalities and make a dream bedroom that's all about them versus what we want their dream bedroom to do. Okay. So it has to first and foremost shine who they are as kids. And
do you have questions, Jen? Do you have questions that you ask to kind of like a vetting process to get specific so that child, you're not giving them a Western cowboy room when what they really want is, some other type of a room? Like,
yes. So we have an application that has a list of like favorite movies, favorite colors, what would they want in their dream bedroom. But the most important thing to do is to make time to actually speak with the child, get to know their personalities, because there's so much that can't be seen on paper. So there was one year that we had 2 girls the exact same age, and they both wanted an under the sea dream bedroom.
Under the sea,
both of them. Cool. And they turned out really cool. I
want one of those rooms.
Me too. Every time we do a room, I say, I want one of those rooms. But so it was crucial to be able to sit down and talk with them. So I'll go over there. Like right now I'm sitting on the floor. I love to sit on the floor. I'll be sitting on the floor with the kids and get to know their personality. So do they like to do art? Do they like to build? Do they like to, for example, one of the little girls was very adventurous. She's like, I like to swim. I like to do all these different things. She was more an adventure child. And the other girl was like, I want to do my nails and I want to do my hair and my makeup. I want to be pretty. Will you sit and just be pretty with me? Of course. So that's, one had this beautiful under the sea princess dream bedroom. And then one of them had more of that adventurous under the sea dream bedroom. Both turned out amazing, just totally different. So it's really important to take the time to get to know the kids. That's what is absolutely key is, sitting down with them and doing things with them. And
so you're able to deliver their specific bedroom of choice, but I would imagine kind of like an over the top experience that when they,
oh yeah.
Tell me
about the process.
What is that? What you spend all this money, this time, this energy, this effort in creating this special place for this child. What is their response? Like, is it you open the door and wow, there's like, what is that feeling? What is that experience like?
Here's the big thing. They only give me those little items of what they really want in their dream bedroom. And then at the end of that, they don't know what's going in there. They don't know anything. It's all a big surprise. So the last time we see their room, it's completely empty. So the families will empty the room, tell me the items that they must keep, like say a family heirloom or something that's really special to them. Somebody made them something. So we keep those different small little items for them. But then they have to knock on the door and we say, come on in. And then they get to see their room for the first time. And it's just this magical place of healing and a place where the kids can be a kid, because most of the children, even though they're going through cancer treatments, it's not like they are laying on the bed all day long. They still have energy. They still have to be able to get out and, get their energy out. And so a new room makes them just over the top excited to be able to have that. And not only a new room, but visitors. So I think that's the other portion that is so cool.
The visitors.
They get to see us. They get to see the volunteers. And there's all this hype in their room. Even the moms and dads don't know everything that's going on inside the room. So when they do see it for the first time, they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that this is what the dream bedroom is. Like, this is way more than I ever expected. I thought it was going to be a lot less than this. So
that's amazing. I can only imagine what that experience might feel like from a child's aspect of walking in and seeing that. I remember there was a show on television that was kind of similar. I don't remember the name of it, but it was a dream house, and I just
Extreme
remember.
Home Makeover.
Is that what that right? And people would walk in and start crying, and just you know,
That's what happens.
you're sitting on the couch crying, like, oh, seeing people happy, just seeing people happy, seeing that blissful place, and to see a little child, just light up like that.
Yeah.
And then to be able to share that experience with other people, their friends, and that come in and go, whoa, cool. That's just really amazing. Again, just want to acknowledge you. This is a very special foundation, and I really enjoy the foundation one. It's just dealing with sick kids and creating a really amazing experience. And so great job. Tell us a little bit about the programs that Sweet Dreams Foundation. What are some of the different programs that maybe people can get involved in and partake in and things like that?
So right now we are just really focusing on the dream bedrooms here
Dream
locally.
bedrooms.
The dream bedrooms here locally.
Yeah.
Just honestly, like Ella, when you showed that little girl, she was in Texas. Travel was way too expensive for our team to be able to get out there. So one day it would be very cool to be able to serve children nationwide with dream bedrooms. But until then, we decided this year, we're super excited about it, is we were getting applicants from all over the US and then applicants under the age of 2. So we developed a new program that could get the whole US and beyond involved by giving Roos Wraps to babies who are battling life-threatening illnesses. And it's really cool because it's this 3-in-1 baby wrap that supports baby's tummy time, sitting up, and learning how to walk.
Okay, so I'm looking at the screen right now. So this is a Roos Wrap. That's
a Roos Wrap.
That's a Roos. Is that Ruze?
No.
No.
Like a kangaroo. ROOS. It's like a pouch.
ROOS. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the cool thing is with it is most of the babies that we know that are going through, say they've had a congenital heart defect or battling cancer themselves or from NICU, what happens is it delays their developmental process. So this will allow for us to serve many children and be able to bless them with a hand wrapped, just a gift wrapped Roos Wrap and a handwritten card, and show them that it doesn't matter where you are in the world, you have a community here fighting for you and praying with you. So that's
so not to interrupt, but I just want to be clear for the audience that a Roos Wrap is something that people can buy, donate. Like how do you get the Roos Wrap to that child?
How do we get it? So we do have a link that if you go to the wellness that you had up there for a second there for Sweet Dreams, there's a link that says find out more, and you can apply for a Roos Wrap on there. You can also donate on there. So far we've had over 50 Roos Wraps. So if you scroll up just a little bit, there's a find out more button.
Okay.
Right there. So you'll click it, and we're excited because we also accept donations like via Venmo and stuff like that too. But so far we've already had over 50 babies that we've fundraised for 50 babies to receive a Roos Wrap. So, and people, they're loving it because of the prolonged hospital stays and the treatments is taking a toll on their little bodies. So we're just hoping to get them strong and give them hope and help their little bodies get stronger to fight.
So this is a foundation that people that have interest in this is a foundation that people can donate money. And then with that donated money, sweet bedrooms get made.
Yes.
And is that the solo purpose, or is there other things that money does, or is sweet bedrooms the main focus?
Well, we try to separate it for whatever people want to give to. So people can choose the program. Like when they do find out more on that Roos Wraps page, they can donate directly to that. Or if they want to donate to the dream bedrooms, then they can. So we try to allow people to be able to choose, and we'll oftentimes fundraise for specific children too, because
Got you.
The families in the community of that child want to be able to get involved. So it's a really cool way to be able to serve those families and bring in like the last room. And sorry, our website is not updated. We did give John and Dean already a dream bedroom, but in their little town, they live in Loomis, and in their little town, the Taylors, the little local restaurant right there, they wanted to donate to his room. So they did a big fundraiser night. So it's really cool to be able to get people involved and let them choose where they want to be able to give to, because you're going to touch people's hearts in different ways. So people are going to say, I want to do something for their physical and, development for those babies. Or they're going to say, oh, a dream bedroom is going to make a big difference. For grants in particular, it's very hard to get grants for dream bedrooms because
it is.
Because we can only serve one child, and serving that one child costs $3,000.
$3,000.
Yeah. So
okay, so that was one of my next questions. Was
how much?
How much does a room on average roughly cost?
Yes, and so roughly it's about $3,000, give or take. Some people will even, like, on one of the rooms, they're like, we want to go above and beyond. We're going to fundraise more for this child so he can get a sauna, a really nice medical grade sauna in his room. And so the church went crazy. We put a sauna in a child's room. Wow. Yes, let me tell you,
I'm 54. I
wanted the sauna so bad. I was like, I told my husband, I said, can we fundraise for us too? Can we fundraise for the founders who don't get paid?
That's awesome.
Anybody want to donate? No, just joking, awesome. By all means. But, that's where he was. Most of his pain would go away, was inside the sauna with his particular illness. So it's crucial to be able to do something like this. But the sauna itself, even at wholesale, we got wholesale pricing on it, was still $4,000. So the church was like, nope, we're going to go way above and beyond. We're going to just, pour into this family and show them that they are loved. And like that child was, super long story. That child was best friends with one of the children at the church who passed away of a brain tumor. So we were supposed to give him a dream bedroom, and we didn't do it. We COVID hit, and we weren't able to do it in time. And he ended up passing away of a brain tumor. So because with that situation and how close his best friend is very ill, that they rallied for him. They did it for him. So it was really cool to be able to see that.
That's amazing.
The Roos Wraps, it only costs $50. And then, we can serve many more babies doing something like that, and also get more people involved, because you can get involved anywhere in the world. So it makes it really easy.
Right.
I
love it. It's a great story, great backdrop of a story, great lessons that you learned out of that story. What do you see as we begin to wrap up here? First of all, is there any other major point that you want to make regarding Sweet Dream Foundation? Maybe something that I have failed to ask, or in terms of maybe questions or anything of that, any main point topic that you want to hammer on before we go?
No. Yeah, I think you did good sharing. Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Just in closing, tell me this: what do you see as the bigger, grander, greatest vision for the Sweet Bedroom Foundation? What do you see as that, like, if you could just go into the future and look and go, man, if we could just create something like this, like, what is that bigger vision for that?
Oh, I have a big vision, super big vision, and it's been written
That's
down.
Why I asked.
It's been circled in prayer. I really want a family wellness retreat, and I want it to be like a whimsical, maybe tree houses, and have a different, we come from like a little bit of a fitness background. So I want it to have like a little bit of a ninja warrior course, because kids have a ton of energy, and learn about taking care of their bodies while their dream bedrooms are being made over. So they come and they stay, they have all this incredible like gourmet food that maybe they don't typically eat, because kids in the hospital, what I've seen over the 15 years, most of them are eating hospital food, which we know how great that is. And then they're eating a lot of fast food, or whatever parents can get their kids to eat. So I have a huge passion on like nutrition and making sure that we're fueling our bodies. And so, doing some really fun, yummy things for them, teaching them how great, food from the earth tastes, and, get them to get out and enjoy some time in a family wellness retreat while their rooms are being remade.
Right. I love it. I love it. I mean, you've obviously put some thought and some heart into this, and it's absolutely just amazing. And I just know, I just, it's almost like a knowing sometimes, you just have a feeling, a knowing, an instinct, a vibe, an intuition, whatever you might want to call it. But I know that you're onto something really, really great. And I know that some spark of something's going to, just like a wildfire, it's wham, and your Sweet Dream Bedroom Foundation is going to just take off. Like it's going to be a wildfire, because you're doing something that is helping humanity, and not just humanity, but little children, that are going through tough times and challenging times and sick times and things of that. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, one, thanks for being with us here today, to share a bit about your story and your background and the purpose on why you got into this. And for any of our listeners that are watching, or any of our viewers that may be watching, if you feel that there's a way that you want to participate, how is it? Give our viewers, if you will, for a moment. How do they participate? Are there links you had mentioned, or how do they find those links? There's
on our website, there's a link that says support us, and you can volunteer there.
Okay.
So you can sign up to volunteer. If you're local, that's where you'll be doing a lot of the dream bedroom stuff. Artists can be kind of anywhere in the world if they're okay with shipping their art to us. Then we can include, artists from all over. As far as the Roos Wraps go, artists are huge to be able to maybe make handmade cards.
Right.
So it can even be children, though. I think it'd be really cute to have kids making cards for the other babies. So I think that would be really special.
That's so cool.
I've thought about that. I'm like, going kids, the purity of their heart to serve another child. So I don't think it has to necessarily be an artist. So you can be anywhere, and maybe you want to make a stack of cards and even write, in a prayer or a well wish for the family that will be receiving, for the baby that will receive. And then we'll mail that off with the Roos Wrap. So there's two ways. And then one of the biggest, most pressing needs is land. So for that
land, right.
That retreat, and it can really be anywhere, I'm not just saying California, it could be anywhere. And this one here is a big one, but my husband and I we're volunteers. So the other big one is allowing for us to be salaried. For anyone who has big money that they're looking into, giving back into an organization, is to be able for us to get salaries so that we can serve even more children, because I can only imagine the impact if we could both focus full time on something like this, and getting even more volunteers involved. So.
Right. Well, that's great. Well, obviously resources are the key. You need land and money and volunteers and all of that. So you need all the above and more. So we want to inspire any of our viewers that might be watching here to again, if you have it in your heart, you got land, you got money, you got time, maybe some volunteer, something for this amazing couple, Jennifer and Daniel, that have put their heart and their energy and their effort and their passion into really doing something that makes a difference to children around the world that are going through difficult times. So we pray for you and hope for the very best, that the biggest vision that you have comes to fruition for you, and knowing that that gets put into your hands. I can just tell what through the screen here and through our conversation we had the other day, that if the right resources get put into the right hands, you're going to do the right thing.
Yes.
And that right thing is to empower and to make a difference for those young ones that are in sick time. So again, I just want to say thank you so much for being with us here today. And is there any last thing you want to share before we sign off? And
just very grateful for this opportunity. Thank you so much for having us on the show.
Awesome.
Like you mentioned earlier, this isn't what you normally do. So we're excited to follow all the other stories that you're highlighting and sharing. So thank you for allowing us to be a part.
Awesome. Great. Thank you so much again for having you on here today. We're going to sign off here today on the Brett Figueroa Show. As always, our outcome is to move, to motivate, and inspire. And so if today at any level, there's some motivation, some inspiration, something that maybe just tapped into your heart, tapped into your emotion, we encourage and inspire you to make that difference, to be that difference in a world that right now, especially after COVID, there's so much darkness that's going on and the repercussions of COVID after the past couple years, and people living in fear, people still afraid to step forward, to take action, to do certain things. And so we would encourage you today that if you are in that space, to just do what it is that Jennifer was inspiring us to do, and that's just to live a fulfilling life. So we would encourage you to do exactly just that. If you've got an idea, you've got a dream, you've got a vision, you've got something that you believe can make a difference, this is your opportunity to step right powerfully into that and take some massive action. So again, signing off, another episode with Brett Figueroa Show, and we will see you at the top. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Bye-bye.